Welcome back to Footballology. So this week I want to spotlight a couple of guys leading up to the combine that I feel like that need to have a strong combine, but at the same time could potentially have a strong combine, and just what I think about them and my evaluation of them currently. And then I'm gonna do another one after the combine. So this is might change because if some of these guys don't get the invite, or some might get the invite and they might not perform well, so it might interchange or something like that. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into this video.
Drop down and shake it, shake. Drop down and shake it, shake. Drop down and shake it, shake. Drop down and shake it. Drop down and shake it, shake. Drop down.
First on my list, I have Josh Dobbs. Dobbs is a quarterback that really intrigued me because I was watching the Senior Bowl, and he's a guy that I feel like goes against everything that I believe that a true quarterback should be. But at the same time, he just intrigued me. And for the longest time, I had Deshaun Watson going to Cleveland at number 1 overall, but I'd seen Myles Garrett, and everybody's talking about Myles Garrett and this, that, and the other. So then I seen Deshaun Jackson down at the Senior Bowl, and I thought to myself, I was like, there's a potential chance that he can go in the 3rd, maybe 4th round to Cleveland, and Hugh Jackson gets his quarterback, potentially. Like I said, he goes against everything I believe in, what I want from a quarterback. He's a run-first quarterback. He looks to run. He doesn't really pass the ball that extremely well. He doesn't lead his receivers that much. He kind of throws into traffic, and his receivers are forced to make a lot of acrobatic catches and kind of bail him out, if you will. So he goes against everything I believe in as far as evaluating a quarterback, but for some reason he intrigues me. And I don't know if it's the Dak Prescott effect or what, but he intrigues me. I'm really I'm trying to get away from him, but at the same time I can't. I'm just really focused in on him for some reason. So I want to spotlight him going into the combine. I feel like that if he has a strong combine, he makes most of his throws. Catchable passes, and I think that's the biggest thing. Catchable passes, put it in a position where some of these receivers, because he's going to have some good receivers to throw it to, some of these receivers can go up and catch the ball or do whatever they have to do and make more catchable passes. His 40-yard dash is not going to mean anything. His vert and broad, all that stuff, that's not going to mean anything. But I think what he does is from a skill position drills is going to have to do something to really wow people to understand that he can do it from a big arm standpoint and then also just from an accuracy standpoint. Next on my list, I have Josh Malone, which is Josh Dobbs' receiver. Now, when I was watching Dobbs, I was watching this guy, and I was like, who's that number 3? Found him, looked him up, love his specs, love everything he does. Now, the thing is he caught a lot of deep balls, so I'm not really sure of his route tree. I'm not saying that he doesn't have one, but I'm really unsure of it. I'm not sure if he's going to be that guy that can actually have a true route tree or something that he might have, and it wasn't asked of him. Also, he does a lot of body catching, and I'm not a fan of body catches, but in some cases, in some situations, it seems like some receivers let the ball get in too deep into their body, if you will, and then the ball just winds up bouncing off their pads, incomplete pass, or it allows the defender to come in and make a great play on the ball. So the body catching thing, I'm back and forth because we've seen a lot of receivers have success with body catches. But at the same time, the hands catching receivers have twice as much more success. But from a standpoint, I think that he's really quality. I think he has really good NFL speed. He has amazing deep ball tracking. Like I said earlier, he just caught a lot of deep balls, but his ability to track the ball when it's in the air, it's his ball. He attacks it. He shows great body control when he's in the air. And I think he's a guy that's kind of going unnoticed. But he had a really good year, and he's a guy that's going unnoticed because of his quarterback inconsistencies. You don't see him making a lot of great plays. Like I said, I don't know what was asked of either one of these guys, but I feel like Malone is a guy that we haven't heard a lot about, and I think he's really impressive. I hope he gets an invite to the combine. I think he is. And I think he's going to run really well. I think he's going to perform extremely well. He's a guy that we're going to see his value grow and raise between the combine and the draft. And it's going to be insanely crazy. That Tennessee Pro Day is probably going to be something to be seen. But I think Malone, when I watched him, and I didn't want to do this early into the process, but when I watched him, he had a really he had like an Allen Robinson-esque thing to him, you know what I mean? Like he showed some signs of Allen Robinson, if you will. But I'm not saying he is or not, but that's my comparisons right now. And like I said, I didn't want to do it this early in the evaluation, but I feel like that's something that I can kind of hang my hat on right now. Next on my Spotlight Combine list is Wayne Gallman. Watching him in Clemson, obviously everyone's focused on Deshaun Watson and Mike Williams, but this guy, I think, has the ability to be an NFL starting caliber running back. You guys, once you guys know this, I love the bigger backs, but this guy possesses good speed as well. Now, with that being said, I think he knows he possesses quality NFL speed, but at the same time, I think he feels that he can always make every run a hit, a home run hit, instead of taking the 4-yard gash that he can get now, and then maybe that hole opens up bigger, and then he can get the home run. So, and the thing with running backs like that, it's a blessing and it's a curse, like a guy that's always trying to find that hole to take it to the house, which you want a guy to believe that every time he touches the rock, it's going to the house. But at the same time, it's like, I'd rather have those 4 to 5 yards on a 2nd and 6 or whatever the case may be, and make it a 3rd and manageable. So instead of a 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 6 into a 3rd and 1, you're looking at a 3rd and 7, so a 2nd and 6 to a 3rd and 7. So we don't want that, and so that can be a really downfall. Trying to always looking for the home run, and then you have his uprighting body run. Now, a lot of people don't care for it too much, and me personally, I'm not a hater on it. I kind of enjoy it in a way because it feels like the running backs that run upright tend to find the hole a little bit better. The running backs that always have their heads up. Now, I'm not saying that the running backs that crouches don't find the hole any less or anything, but it just seems like when a guy's running upright, he's actually looking to run the ball, like he's looking for the open hole. So his upright running style is just in the eye of the beholder. Like, if you like it, you like it. You either hate it, you like it. And there's really no in between. And I'm a fan of it. I think that the upright running style is something that can have true success. I mean, AP does it, and he's did it all these years, and look at his success level. He's always looking for the home run as well. So it's not like some of his weaknesses, if you will, are not really weaknesses. They're just things that we kind of nitpick and kind of play with because we're not sure if it's something that can be successful. And a very few running backs have success with it, but then at the same time, there's running backs that completely kill with it. But I think that he's a guy that can go anywhere in the 2nd or 3rd round, especially if he has a great combine, which I believe he will. I think he's going to run extremely well. He's got to show that he has great balance in his running back skill in the drills. And if he shows those two things, I think he's a guy that can go early 2nd to mid 2nd, and a guy that he can potentially start at the next level for some teams. Next on my list is what I feel to be the star of the Senior Bowl. I was watching the Senior Bowl, and this guy completely tore it up, in my opinion. He had a great practice. His numbers didn't show it as far as the game went, but if you actually watch the game, his play in the game was just mind-blowing as well. Now, the things that you kind of look at him and you watch, you say, in my mind, he don't lack, but I'm not sure if he has the ability to have the speed and quickness to create separation at the next level. So it's going to be something really interesting, but a lot of teams are playing zone. So he's a guy that, once again, probably can find the opens in these zones. And then also, when the ball is in the air, he tends to panic a little bit more on his deeper routes. So when you see the ball going down the field, he gets a little grabsy, gives a little push off on the corner. Now, yes, at the next level, if you do it the right way and you're subtle with it, you can get away with it. But in some situations, being a young guy like that, and you're getting covered by some of the premier corners in the league, so Keith Lee, Chris Harris, Marcus Peters. I didn't want to say Marcus Peters, but Marcus Peters. Some of those guys, Patrick Peterson, Richard Sherman. If you're getting covered by these guys and you push off, sometimes the favor will go in their way because you're a young guy and they think that, hey, this vet got you covered, and you panicked and you pushed off. So he can do that sometime when the ball is in the air. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. He panics sometimes when the ball is in the air, and he gets a little pushy and things like that. So it's something that can be a negative for him as well. Like I said, if he can learn how to do it subtly, and it's a little just, hey, just get away with it, he probably could. And then when you watch him play, oh my God, hands for days. This guy catches everything practically with his hands. Nothing rarely gets into his body, which I love. That we talked earlier is that the fact that he can get the ball, like he can high point the ball, get up there and catch it, I think is just so fucking amazing. It's just something that you see, but sometimes you don't see. Like it looks natural to him. Some guys do it and like, oh, I can do it, but it looks really natural to him. So when it comes to the combine day, I think he's a guy that's going to go late 2nd, early 3rd, depending on how the combine goes. Yeah, if he can run around 4.5, 4.4, I think he's the other guy that you start to really watch and pay attention to. Make sure that none of his balls touch the ground as he's catching them in the gauntlet drill and some of the wide receiver drills and the deep ball drills. Some of those drills, if he can make sure the balls don't touch the ground, rarely to never, he is a guy that you can see going late second, early third. Now, if he does the complete opposite, he can easily slip into late third, early fourth, because there's a receiver class that I've watched deeply, and you are legitimately a split second away from going in the second and third round to being a first rounder. Like, that's just the way it is right now. And I think that when all that's said and done, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Zay Jones, because I feel like he can be a number 2 for a lot of teams out there and be really quality for some guys. All right, so that's all I have for you guys this week. Those are all my offensive guys. I'm going to do a defensive one next week, and some of those guys I'm spotlighting leading up to the combine as well. Real quick side note, Mike Williams, this is just really random. Mike Williams is a receiver that's projected in the top 10, top 15 of the first round, and I think he's awesome. I think he's a really good receiver. Real quick, though, I did some research, and I was looking back. Martavis Bryant was a receiver that I was really high on coming out of Clemson, and Martavis Bryant Mike Williams possessed some of the things that Bryant does. And I think Bryant went in the 4th round, and then we had a guy 2 years ago, Chris Conley, he went in the 3rd round. He went to the Chiefs. And now Mike Williams is going in the 1st round. Basically what I'm saying is we've seen that this 6'3", around 200 to 220 pound, 4'3" receiver go higher each and every year. So the NFL is starting to follow a trend. I just wanted to point that out for some reason, not to take anything from Mike Williams, but I feel like a guy like Martavis Bryant definitely got a guy like Mike Williams paid. Granted, Martavis didn't have the same numbers as collegiate-wise because he obviously had Sammy Watkins on the opposite side of him, and we've seen what Sammy Watkins did, and he went in the 1st round. But I think Martavis and Mike Williams are the same exact receiver when it comes down to it, and I think they can – whoever gets Mike Williams and he goes to a solid team with a good quarterback, he's going to actually have a really good, successful NFL career. And then a couple other guys that I just want to kind of keep my eye out on. Trent Taylor, Louisiana Tech. I think he's a guy that you don't want to say Wes Welker, but he's definitely a 3rd down slot guy that you're going to trust that can catch those 3rd downs, that Cole Beasley, if you will. I don't know. We do it. We all do it. We all label the short white guy the Wes Welkers of the world. And we do it and we don't mean to, but New England showed us the way that these guys can be successful at the level. Before Wes Welker, these guys were a dime a dozen. They were walking in the door and walking out the door at the same time. So you have to kind of use Wes Welker as a grading tool or as a scale because it was given to us by New England, and that's the way we run with it. But Trent Taylor's a guy I'm definitely trying to watch out for. That's really about it. I think there was a couple other guys I can't remember right now. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back next week, check out my defensive spotlight guys, and let me know who some of your spotlight guys that you're really paying attention through this whole process down in the comment section below. If you're not a footballologist yet, become a footballologist today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay safe, football fans.